Yes, we have East Clare Garda Focus, and I'm delighted to say we're joined by a very familiar voice now to East Clare Garda Focus, Sergeant Declan O'Keefe. Declan, good morning to you. Had you a lovely Christmas?
Sorry, yes, guys. Happy Christmas to you all and your listeners. Yeah, we had a lovely Christmas, quiet Christmas with the family. So,
Oh,
thankfully, it's been quiet across the district as well, Dara.
God, that's good.
Uh,
That's great to hear.
we've had no crime in the last week, so quite pleased about that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I was travelling over this morning to the studio, and I commented to Stephen here on the roads. They're a little bit icy this morning.
And that's what I want to talk about this morning is road safety. Dara, really, and for people to be winter ready, really, and driving in adverse weather conditions. Like you say, it's a beautiful morning out there, absolutely beautiful, and there's no doubt about it. People are going to be going out and soaking up that sun, but it's just very important, that our vehicles are ready and serviced and fit and safe to travel in these conditions. So I appeal to people just to carry out regular checks of their vehicle this time of the year. Especially for tyres and lights, Dara, they're the main ones, really.
Yes, and I actually didn't realise how bad the roads were till I actually, went out. And I looked out the window this morning and I said to myself, "Oh God, it's a lovely day," but I didn't know the roads were as bad. So you just have to proceed with caution, isn't that it?
Absolutely, and just be prepared for any eventuality. But to me, the big one, there's a long list there, and there's information there on the road safety at rsa.ie and winterready.ie. But for me, it's lights and tyres. They're the main things, and obviously you need a good battery in your car this time of the year as well. And of course, just on the wider road safety message, speed is it's a huge factor. It's a factor in 1/3 of fatal collisions in Ireland, Dara. A speed limit is not a target. We always say that. It's just simply the maximum speed you're legally entitled to drive on a stretch of road. So it might say 80 or 100, but it just mightn't be appropriate to the road and to the weather conditions and to the volume of traffic present and the likelihood of hazards. So again, just be mindful. We've had no fatalities in East Clare, in a long time now, and that's the way we want to keep it. And of course, again, belt up for every trip. The use of mobile phones. Everybody uses a mobile phone now. It's a big problem. It's a penalty. There's a fixed charge notice penalty to use a handheld mobile phone whilst driving. So just be careful, as any distraction can take your attention from the road. It can be dangerous. So again, fatigue is another one. It's believed to be a factor in 1 in 5 fatal collisions in Ireland. So don't ignore the effects of fatigue. Anybody going long journeys out there. So that's just my message on road safety this morning, Dara. I suppose if I can touch on, just while I'm on vehicles, we're all going to nice places now. We have lovely walks and lovely, nature reserves around East Clare. You have the 12 o'clock hills, you have Mount Shannon.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
You have loads of lovely places to visit and go on walks. And again, appeal to people: don't leave any valuables in your car. Or, hide any valuables or leave them at home. Put them into the boot. There's opportunistic criminals out there that visit these areas not for walking, criminal activity. So again, please make it hard on them. And don't make it easy on them to take stuff from you.
And even in places outside of you mentioned walking areas like the 12 o'clock hills and all that. In the last number of weeks, there's been quite a number of thefts of cars in villages like Quinn. Right. And it was I was very surprised when I heard all these thefts of cars taking place.
Yeah, and I spoke about that last week, and look, thankfully, as I said, that we've had no crime this week, but look, it's upon everybody to be vigilant and to have that crime prevention in our head all the time, as regards our own property. and it's just an easy target for somebody. It wouldn't bother us, but leaving a laptop, leaving a mobile phone, leaving a purse, leaving a wallet,
Yes.
seat, or in the console in between the driver and passenger seat, it's just asking for trouble there. Like, so I would just appeal to people out there. And again, look, as I said last week to Jim, I'd like to thank the people of East Clare for all their help and support. We can't do our job properly without the help of the community. And again, just while the weather is cold and we're getting into a cold snap now, it's not a bed of roses for everybody. So again, I'd ask people out there just to keep an eye out for their elderly neighbours or anybody that might be vulnerable. Call and check on their security and welfare. Look, not everybody might like to see the guards coming, but at the same time, we're there and we'd love to call to anybody that needs a visit or anything like that. So, if there's anybody out there like that, just let us know. Really, that's all we're saying. And again, just keep up the good work, because we're a police service, and we police by consent, and we work very well as a community with the East Clare community there. So we'd like to keep it that way.
And Declan, apart from travel safety and weather precautions, is there anything that the public should be particularly alert to or aware of just over the Christmas and the New Year period?
Look, I suppose just like normal, like any unusual activity or anything that stands out, you know what I mean? People are absolutely brilliant to ring in, and no matter how, look, if anything is out of place or anything, or if there's suspicious vehicles in the area, please let us know. They might be just passing through, but it's for our own information and intelligence. It's great to know this information as well. So again, I'd appeal to people to ring the Ennis number there, or ring the Nina number. It's 065 684 8100 is the Ennis number, and then you've 067 504 50. So 067 504 50. But I'm on, and I said it last week, if you need a service, please ring 999. If you need an immediate service, even if it's not an emergency, we're asking people to ring the 999s or ring 112. There's no point in waiting for me to come back from holidays or back from rest days, or I can pick up on things after. But we're not there 24/7, but there is a 24/7 service. Please use the 999s if you need a service there and then, if you understand what I'm saying, Tara.
And Declan, if we were to look at 2025 as a year in whole, what was the year like for the guards overall?
Actually, look, we've had our challenges, but I suppose we've had great successes in the Clare to Prairie division as well. Like, you know what I mean? And there's been some high-profile events, but look, we've coped fairly well with it, But there's always challenges. But again, it's that message that I say every week on the program. The help we get from the community is absolutely fabulous. We have a great community in East Clare there, and as I say, we police by consent. And the help we get from the community and the other emergency services. The ambulance and the fire brigade, we couldn't do our job without these people, So we're delighted with that, and if we can keep that going, we'll be happy, Dara.
Great stuff. Declan, we wanted, on behalf of myself and everybody here in Scariff Bay Community Radio, we just want to thank you for your service, and your colleagues as well, for all you do here in East Clare and keeping us safe. And it was great chatting to you over the last year, and please God, we'll chat to you again in 2026.
100%, and happy Christmas and a happy New Year to all the listeners as well, Dara, and yourself.
And same to you. Take care. That's Sergeant.
God bless. Take care. Bye now.
Take care. That's Sergeant Declan O'Keefe for the final. The final East Clare Garda Focus for 2025.